Good morning. Today is Monday. Oh, Monday's the best day. Monday's the day governed by the moon. Oh goodness, I love that. And the moon is just amazing. The moon is amazing, and here's why. It's because in this universal experience that we are all connected to, everything is within us and everything is without, right? The moon is the place where the light is reflected and shared with everyone. And it changes its face. Every day the moon is different. And that is the truth about who we are, especially as women. Every day we come into a new experience of ourselves, something different, something unique, a new possibility is born within us because that is the nature of who we are as women. And one of the most profound things for us to get at this time is that the feminine is being reawakened. Not the feminine that we know from feminism. That's a trick. That's an illusion. That's not real feminine power. That's some idea of being equal to men, and we could never be equal to men. That is just not even a possibility. Equality is not even something we should strive for because we lessen ourselves in doing so. And I'm not saying that to insult men at all. I'm saying that to put things in order and bring truth to it, So we are beings, women, we are beings that are connected to the water. We're connected to the air, to the earth, to the fire, and we bring the invisible into the scene, whether it is through our wombs and having children or whether it is just through thought. I know one of the things that is really fascinating for me is I remember when my ex-husband and I were breaking up and we were going through a really painful time. It was painful for him and painful for me. And I was so full of rage and anger. I was so angry at the way we were handling it. And I remember just wanting him to feel my anger. I remember wanting him to feel my anger. And like I would allow myself to seethe in it. I would allow myself to just experience him inside of my anger. And then one day we were talking and it wasn't random like that, but one day he got hit by a Mack truck. Like his car was hit by a Mack truck. And I knew in that moment, like Spirit said to me, do you want him to experience your anger? And in that moment, I took it back. I was like, no, I don't want him to experience my anger. But it's so important as women that we begin to understand that we are connected that way, that we can will things into existence. And so it's very important for us to understand where we're willing from. If we're willing from our anger, our fury, our sadness, our despair, then we're going to create more of that. If we're willing from our love, our joy, our power, our peace, then we'll create more of that. We are the creators of this reality. We are, right? And that is even furthermore true for Black women, especially Black women in America, because we are connected to the sun in this incredible way. All Black people are connected to the sun. Everybody's connected to the sun. Let me say that. Everyone is connected to the sun. But as Black people, we absorb the sun. We drink it up. It is the energy that we come into alignment with. And the sun is alive. It is a living being. It is speaking to us. And because we carry so much trauma, we can't hear it. So because we carry so much trauma, like my experience with my ex-husband, where I had been a trauma had been reignited in that relationship, I begin to will inside of the trauma. And that is what's happening for us as Black American women. We are willing inside of the trauma that we have inherited, right? And so it's very important and significant that we begin to will ourselves into wholeness, into well-being, and into a new relationship with our old experience, right? It's important for us to begin to understand that we are the carriers of the DNA of consciousness because of our relationship to the sun and to the planets, right? But we are when they talk about biology and the first human beings, where do they go? They go to Africa. They go to Africa. And, you know, we are the ones who are made in the image and likeness, right? And everything else comes through us and from us. So it's very important that we begin to awaken into that truth so that we can be responsible for our creations through love and joy and happiness, and not through despair and trauma and fear. There's nothing for us to fear here. There's nothing for us to fear because it is all our creation. And the challenge is that we don't know that. We just don't know that. So I get nervous saying this stuff out loud. I do, because I feel like it sounds crazy. But if you begin to ask and do your prayer work and your meditation work and spending time in nature and understanding yourself, your own inner nature, by asking, who am I? What am I? What am I here for? Living inside of the greater questions right now, especially while the sun is in Sagittarius and we get to come into a bigger understanding of who we truly are. If we can begin to ask ourselves these questions as we're moving into this experience of Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter all in Capricorn, we will awaken to the original DNA of our structure, of our cells, right? We have been conditioned out of who we truly are. We have been given a false identity that we have assigned, that we have aligned ourselves with. And that false identity shows up in a myriad of different ways, but it is a false identity. And so now it is time, before this January 12th opportunity that comes in the next 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, before we get there, it's time for us to be asking, who am I? With the most sincerity that you can muster up. Like, let go of, you know, what you think you need and what you think you don't have and what you think somebody has done to you and what you think is wrong with you. And ask, who am I really underneath all of this? Who am I? And be willing to come into a new understanding of who you are. Be willing to allow the universe to show you something. Before you go to sleep at night, ask. Ask to dream about it. Ask to see it. Ask your ancestors to show you. Ask that you be revealed into the truth of your understanding of yourself. And just expect magnificence to show up. And if things show up that you are afraid of, ask for deeper understanding. Help me understand further. Help me understand more. And as the moon is moving into the new moon in Sagittarius, this is an opportunity for us to come into a greater alignment with truth. And that is why I'm saying ask these questions, so that you can experience more truth in a way that hasn't been available to you up until now. And so please remember that everything in your life is your reflection. And so it is important to understand that you have created every reality you're having. Every reality you're having, whether you like it or not, is your creation. And the best thing you can do is move into an awareness of, I created this, so what is it here to teach me? Especially if you don't like it. I created this, so what is it here to teach me? And in doing so, you will be revealed the answer to what it is for you to learn, and then you can let it go. It's as simple as that. I'm the Moon Mama. The moon is in Scorpio today. This is a great time to investigate. Investigate who you are, what you're here for, the purpose of your life, the meaning, the value, and trust that it'll be revealed to you. Wake up. It's time for us to wake up. Wake up to who we are. Peace and blessings. I am the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye-bye.